Welcome biology students, this is Miss Teslin. I'm going to show you our last assignment for Module 8, which is 8.10 Cardiovascular Disease. So looking at Module 8 and scrolling all the way down to 8.10, we're going to look through the slide deck before we go to the actual assignment to understand a little bit more about cardiovascular disease. So the first slide is about the objectives and some of the terms as before. In this one, we're looking at the definition of what cardiovascular disease is. It's a class of diseases where the heart or the blood vessels are not functioning properly. If we go to the next slide, we talk about one of the ways that that happens, the process of atherosclerosis, which is when you have buildup of fat or cholesterol in the blood vessels and it starts to block. So you can see how it goes from early to moderate and then to severe where there's an actual thrombus formation blocking, and the plaque can fall off and block that. There are four main types of disease. There's the heart attack. That's when you actually have the heart muscle dying off because the vessels in the heart are blocked, and that therefore the oxygen is not getting to the heart muscle, so that dies off. That's a heart attack. That's the thing where you're calling 911 because you have chest pains, etc. There's also stroke, which is when that blockage happens in your brain. It's blocking the blood to your brain. When heart failure happens, that's when your blood's not pumping through the body effectively, so your heart can get a lot larger and pump more quickly, and eventually it stops working very effectively at all. And then arrhythmia is when you don't have a regular heart rate, and one way you can fix that is through surgery, medicine, or getting a pacemaker. So you might have heard of that before. So those are the four main ways that cardiovascular disease presents. But there's also a genetic component to cardiovascular disease. Like you could be more prone to getting heart disease, but a lot of these risk factors are things that you can control and that you have a choice over. So the first is hypertension, which is high blood pressure. The second is high cholesterol. So sometimes you are born with a certain level of cholesterol, but sometimes you can also reduce your cholesterol through diet. Obesity and being overweight or not getting enough exercise. In fact, getting exercise is a number one way when you get that heart rate elevated to prevent heart disease. And of course, smoking is a way that you can increase your risk if you smoke. It can impact your cardio system. This is a little video that reviews some of that. And then here we're going to go to our worksheet that talks about this cardiovascular disease. So here we're looking at two patients, and you are going to be the doctor, and you're going to try and figure out which one of these two patients is more likely to get heart disease. You're going to answer the question here. Then you're going to talk about which risk factors are impacting why that particular patient might get heart disease. And so you can read through the definitions here. Remember, the risk factors are things like hypertension or blood pressure, cholesterol levels, obesity, lack of exercise, smoking. And then finally, naming two risk factors that people like yourself could control by the choices that you make. And then that's the end of that assignment. Good luck.